He probably always wondered, what's that room that says King?
I guess you can't.
He thought that was about him.
He'll be a backup in the NFL. He's not a quarterback. He won't be a starter. You gotta
He
look it
knows
up.
nothing about basketball, folks.
I can talk hockey all day though.
I might not know anything about basketball, but you don't know anything about hockey other than who Jason Robertson and Joe Pavelski are.
I know who Wyatt Johnson is.
Oh, of course. You know who the third best rookie in the league is.
I know who Mike Modano is.
Who?
You don't. Come on. The captain for like 100 years? Mikey Modano.
Oh, I know who Mike Modano
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd be shocked if you don't.
Eddie Belfour.
Turco.
I've
met Eddie Belfour.
Nice
Star.
Turco,
I know
yeah.
some.
I love
star
Turco.
names.
I got a lot of Turco stories.
I even know the one Detroit guy that I was looking at for you, Sergey.
Brett Hull. Oh,
Sergey Fedorov.
Yeah.
Oh, Brett Hall's a good one too.
Oh, Brett Hull. Yeah.
So, DFW Sports Investors. I'm Rick Mulligan.
Greg. I'm not.
Take a nap, guys. It's going to be a minute.
No, I'm just saying Greg. I'm just leaving it.
You're just saying Greg. Gotcha. We're at Nighthawk Cards in Greenville, and this is the second episode that we're shooting here. We're going to do a few of them. Tre's joining us again. This time, Dylan's sitting down with us. I remember his name easily because Dylan Larkin's the captain of the Red Wings, and it's a cool name, so that's what helps me remember his name. And he's a great guy and has an awesome dog.
yeah. That's the first time we met.
Yeah. His dog actually took to me kind of well, which was cool. So maybe because I wasn't
smelled your
scared of
dog.
him. So. What's that?
Always smelled your dog.
Which one was
Probably.
it?
It was Big Zert.
Big Zert.
Yeah, it was good. So
What kind of dog is?
He's an American bully.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
he's an awesome dog. Man, he's a tank, dude.
Big head.
He's a tank.
Big softy though.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you guys are here because you guys' specialty is something that Greg and I are really, really want to learn about. We're very curious, and it's dealing with grading cards. You rip a box, you look at a pack, and you look at it, and you're like, oh, this card's great. And it might be, but there might be something on that card that we don't see. And I want to talk to you guys. What are the things that we as collectors should be looking for when we rip packs, when we buy cards, when we trade cards? Just some advice to give people on what you guys know is really good quality.
Okay, so I'll say this. I'm not an expert by
Sure,
any
of
means,
course. But you have more knowledge than most of us.
Yeah, as far as learning and talking to other collectors as well and seeing how, their opinions as well and getting enough cards graded by BGS, PSA, SGC, I'm able to basically figure out, the gist of what to look for. So whenever I pull a card or if I'm looking through a bin and I'm looking at a card, I'm looking at the centering first. That's just what my eye takes to. Some people are different. But I'm going to look at the centering of the card. I'm going to see if the top to the bottom of the line lines up, the left to right. Basically, if you can see
Here,
that on camera.
I'll do it on this camera.
Yeah, there you go. You can show
You've already
how
looked at it, so you
it's
can kind of
really,
talk about
really
it.
fat on the
There's one
left side.
one
We're
I
on the right
cried
side.
about this
And it's
weekend.
super skinny on the left, so that's going to not be a
Should've seen
gem. Just looking at the centering. And then the second thing I look at is corners. So I'll look at the corners to make sure they're not dinged, they're not whitening. And sometimes to the naked eye, you can't see it. So sometimes I get a magnifying glass and I'll pull it out and check it.
Yeah, Brad showed me that device earlier.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool device.
It's quick and easy, and you can check it out to see if the corners are good. Because those are the two things immediately the fastest that I can check off my list of looking. Because they're going to look at centering, they're going to look at your corners.
Okay.
They're going to look at the edges of the card and how it was cut off of the sheet.
Okay.
And then they're going to look at surface. So if there's any blemishes on the surface, if there's any scratches, any scuffs, things like that.
So what's your biggest ding?
The biggest things we get are surface. You have a lot of factory defects from Panini, which is, they're printing sheets of cards, so it happens. You get dings, you get scuffs, it's really easy to scuff a holograph, like a hollow, a silver, because it shows a lot easier too, and it's shiny, So that's the biggest is surface, and then really corners, I would say, is the second worst, where you get ding corners or the corner to the naked eye looks like it's good, but under the magnifying glass, you can see that it's peeling. So, like, the corner would be peeling.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that's typically the hardest thing to find is your surface issues.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
We've looked cards up and down.
Yep. And I still have
with
missed
the
it
naked
every now and
eye,
then.
and it'll come back a 6, and there have been cards that we even see in the slab as a 6, and we're looking at it, and we still can't find anything after the fact. Most of the time we can, but sometimes
Does it matter
you
if the grader is just being a jerk that day or something?
It depends because, they're human too. So it depends on what grader you have. Yeah, absolutely. If it's a new guy, if it's a veteran, he's having a good day, a bad day, you never know. He could be more lenient. He could not be.
So
it just depends.
The Nolan Ryan you have sitting there,
Yeah.
that's a rookie card.
So, yeah,
it's a great card, but it has
Graded
pretty
4.
major defect on it.
Yep, and you can definitely tell the centering is awful on that one. In fact, the corners are pretty shot too, but it's an older card, so that's why those are a lot harder.
I mean, overall, the card looks to me,
Surface
naked
appeal,
eye,
it looks pretty
good.
But
But I can
old
definitely
is
see
it?
that the centering is,
you can see the
significantly
centering,
off.
you can see
yeah.
the corners on the back of the card are pretty bad.
What year is that from?
1979, I think.
No,
68 because he was on the Miracle
Yep,
Mets.
1968, but to be a 1968 card and still be a 4, still look at the value.
I
of
mean,
the
it's
card.
still the card.
still a $700 card.
Yeah.
You know, just because it's old school and you don't see it.
Yeah,
a
'cause
whole
how many
lot.
of those are floating out there?
Exactly.
You know, there's
Exactly.
probably a handful at best.
Well,
Yeah.
And typically, when people that don't know about grading come into the shop and they'll bring me a whole box of cards, like this one old lady came in and she brought me a whole box of cards and she says they look like they're all in great shape, but I can tell by the way they're placed in that box that right off the jump, without even looking at them, they're not going to be in that great of shape.
They might be in good shape.
They
but
might
not
be in
great shape.
Right, and a good grade. I think PSA you could have a 2 and it still says good on it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but you know you're looking for Jim Mint or
Of course.
Yeah, to maximize your value. And then like just a couple key pieces of advice I would give. Like, so if you're buying cards off of like eBay and whatnot, don't expect that you're gonna get a gem card. Like, don't expect that the card coming in the mail is gonna be a 10 or it's gonna be a gem. Now, every now and then you're gonna get deals
Sure.
like that where you get a great mint condition card. But for the most part, cards that are sold online, and not a lot of people realize this. Why I want to kind of talk about it, honestly. You know,
No,
in a
this
platform
is
like this,
awesome.
not a lot of people realize that most cards on eBay, and I'll be honest, I mean, these are just a lot of the cheaper cards that we hit out of breaks or that we buy from people when they offload collections, and for the most part, they're not gems. And so
Right.
we don't
That's
have
why
time. We don't have time to necessarily go through every single card and check and
Right.
see if it's a gem. That's why I say you might get a gem every now and then, but for the most part, when you buy cards from people on eBay, especially people like Burbank, Propstein, guys like that,
Sure.
there's no way they're looking at every card.
No, they
so
don't have
don't
time.
expect a gem. But if you get a gem, then hey, dude, you're on a come up in the hobby and you won. Good stuff. Keep it rolling. You know.
So the other thing you and I talked about before we got out here, and it's kind of like pre-interview, so to speak, is thicker cards.
Yes.
And where you send thicker cards. So
Yep.
this is a thicker stock card.
Yep.
It's from the Cup. It's it's an auto. It's a patch auto, and now your recommendation is not to send it to PSA.
Not on the thicker cards because the grading scale is different with BGS. So BGS, in my opinion, is a little bit more lenient on RPA cards, on thicker cards. And the reason why thicker cards grade so hard, and being patch cards in general, you know, in a small 35-point card, you're looking at 4 corners.
Right.
On that, you're looking at 8 corners. You're looking
Right.
at the thickness. You know, you're looking at the corner on the top, on the back side, and the front side. So those usually get dinged. Also, another thing that people don't realize, the patch, whenever it's in there and gets put in the card, the cut of the inside of the card, like right here, I'll show you. So the cut of the patch itself, right here, the surface of these, most of the time you'll catch that they're missing chunks or the
let me
inside.
see that.
Yeah, so it's check the inside and you see what I'm.
So in theory, you're really looking at more edges than
Yes,
Absolutely.
because you're looking at
that
more
makes
edges
sense.
now, so it adds more for
That
them to
makes-
look at to grade. So
and
it
those
makes it
edges
harder.
are typically cut worse than
Yes.
than the outer edges.
Yes,
That-
because it's them gluing the patch in there, and the cut of it has to be pristine, and so that's what makes those thick cards so sought after when they grade gems. You know, but BGS, their grading scale, I think, is just a lot more lenient when it comes to thicker cards.
I don't think we've-
patch autos.
I don't think we've ever got a 9 or a 10 from PSA on a thick card. If it,
I mean, we've gotten a few for sure, and we did them just because it was like the PSA special at the National, stuff like that. But for the most
something
part,
like this.
yeah, I would take that to BGS. For the most part, I'm sending my thicker cards to BGS.
They,
for
they
sure.
recently pulled a 105 patch auto of Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, how do I get this home today? This card is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very nice.
if
We're
it
gonna
was
talk
a
about that
rookie, it'd be worth a house,
I mean,
a
close.
small house.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dylan, just to take someone through the process real quick, will you look at so I had someone look at that card already and tell me if it's the kind of card you would want to get graded, and then tell me the condition of that one and would you grade it?
Okay, so just right off the jump, before you even start inspecting the edges and all of that, first you have to determine, is this card going to be a card that's worth grading for your money? typically 1980 and older, and I'm going off of PSA. I'm speaking on PSA and not SGC and BGS right now, but they're pretty close to the same. But with PSA, you're gonna be spending probably at the least $30 a card if you're only gonna submit 1 or 2 cards, unless there's some kind of special going on, or you're doing a bulk submission with like say we're sending in 50 cards.
We can get it down to like 21, 22 a piece.
Absolutely, but this card right here, just looking at it, you're looking at probably a 50-cent card, and if you get it graded,
even though it's a 1 in 25 type of card,
because it's a DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, at the most, it's probably a $5 card, maybe.
Oh, I didn't even see the numbers on it, but yeah, with it being an out of 25, still though at the most probably $5.
Yeah,
these classics and illusions and these other cards. I mean, the most expensive sought after cards are going to be your Prism.
Yeah,
and then
you want to get stuff like this graded, Prism, Optic, the higher end stuff. This right here is considered lower end.
Yeah,
and the reason why is because Classics is just a cheaper set that's made.
It's almost like an insert. It's kind of like an insert, know. And typically, even though you might have lower numbered inserts, you have to really inspect. And I say this before you even think about grading a card. Check the price of it. If it's worth less than $20 graded in a 10, it's never going to be worth. At least this time,
for the most part,
it's not going to be worth grading.
And my take on that is, I think the question you have to ask yourself is am I grading this for my collection?
Right. That was going to be my next
value.
Absolutely.
Like I have 3
the
cards.
The collector in you, it doesn't matter on certain cards. I have like 99-cent mask cards, comic cards that I graded and paid $19 a piece to grade, but just because I like the mask cartoon comic cards, I don't care because I'm never going to sell those.
Right.
And they're going to stay in my collection forever. So I think that has to be a question that you ask yourself. Hey,
right.
Do I love DeMarcus Ware enough that I'm going to grade, this card for my PC?
Right.
Or am I trying to get value? If you're trying to get value, absolutely not.
That's what I did. I'd recently sent 10 cards off to be graded, and the 3 of them were definitely cards that fell into the category. They're definitely less than $20.
Yeah.
However, they're cards that are going to be my PCs. At one, I don't want them to get damaged.
Nope.
So by putting them in that case, I know they're not getting damaged.
Yep.
I like the look of the cases, especially SGC. I love the tuxedo
Yes.
look.
SGC is really growing on me, especially vintage. I love the SGC vintage slabs.
Okay.
The way that the black tuxedo looks like, for instance, on this card, it just looks so clean.
Yeah.
Vintage does very well, SGC. That's
It
another.
does.
If you're talking about,
Okay.
if somebody
Value.
walks in the store and they have a whole box of vintage cards, likely we're probably going to get those graded by SGC.
Okay.
I mean, if it's like 1960s or older, because those cards honestly hold value just as well as a PSA.
And they're a lot cheaper. SGC's great turnaround times
$9
too, and they're a
a
lot
card or
cheaper.
something
Oh,
like that.
nice.
Yeah, it just depends on value, but they're still just substantially cheaper SGC
Okay.
as far as prices go. But as far as modern cards with SGC, I wouldn't go with them because they're not going to maximize as much value as a PSA or a BGS.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
And to touch on the point of what you're looking for in a card, like he said, with me just looking at this card right here,
The corners.
like I see this corner popping
Yeah.
out at me.
Yeah.
If I can see that with my eye, I'm already thinking, that's one big ding on it right there. And
Yep.
typically, if you see a whited corner right there, it's probably going to have other edge damage.
So you could always make the suggestion of just get a 1-touch, throw it in a 1-touch, and it'll be just as safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And see, something new that we're actually learning about more, and this is something that, probably the hobby doesn't really want out there. I guess
That's
you could
all right,
say
though.
it's a trading secret, whatever. But there's this guy named Kurt, and he does this Kurt's Card Care.
Okay.
So where he offers this service, and he goes live on his Instagram to teach you how to do it. But basically, he's taking these cards that have these dinged corners and these messed up edges and surface blemishes, and he cleans them up. And he's
Really?
I mean, he's taking PSA 8s and turning them into 10s. I mean, he's maximizing people's value.
You can't
Yes.
always do that.
You
Like,
can't always
always
do
do
that.
No.
And the risk is huge.
No, but even to do
Say
it
you
on a
take
percentage.
Yeah, I mean, you take a PSA 8, LeBron James Chrome, and you crack it, and you turn it, because that card's maybe $1,200 at the most.
I mean, even if you turn it to a 9,
you crack it and turn it into a 10, that's a $12,000 card.
I mean, if you go even to go to a 9, you're still talking
Yeah.
Doubling your money.
value jump.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's another big
another
thing
thing
to
that we've
consider.
actually just learned about in the last few months, as far as like, cleaning
What's out there.
and doing it better. Yeah, what's out there.
You,
And then
you need to pay him to come and hang out at your shop and teach you his trade.
yeah, just
teach
a
his
few
tricks.
Yeah. And then something we learned at the last few shows too, because I was just picking the brains of other card shop owners, seeing how they offer their grading services and stuff. Those guys have black light rooms or blue light rooms, to where they take the cards in and check them for grading, because the blue light can detect any surface issue,
Deep surface scratches, which is really what you're looking for. That's gonna
Like
ding
he
your
was
card
saying
the most.
earlier, surface is the hardest to miss on grading when you're looking. When you have a room like that or a setup like that, apparently you see every blemish. So I mean, that's another thing that grading is getting better, and people are realizing, hey, if we grade our stuff, or if we can fix a blemish here and there, we can maximize.
I mean, look at the number of companies that are doing it now, and look at how many people are buying cards on a regular that potentially want to submit things. I mean, the value of it becomes exponential.
Yep.
I'd say 90% of the people that walk in the store and they're looking at cards to buy, they're always checking. Some people don't care. They just like the card.
Yep.
They're not concerned with grading.
Right.
But a lot of the people that come in my store, that's what they're focused on.
So I don't have any slabs yet. I haven't bought any yet because
Yeah.
I'm waiting for mine to come back.
Come on in, guys. Come on in. You're good.
You're good.
I got your PSA slabs back, bro. That Ian Gary's
gonna-
I think you're going to be happy, man.
Talk about them.
I think you're going to be happy with it.
Yeah.
I don't have any yet because like I said, I had 10 cards that I sent off, and I'm waiting for them to come back. And I'm hoping that they did well.
You sent them PSA?
Yeah, I'm hoping that they did well. We'll see. It's first time, and I was at the Fort Worth show, and they had a submission booth there, and so I ended up submitting them there. But we'll see how they come out.
See, so this is an example, like you were talking about, where grading is getting more and more popular too, as well. So you have companies like as this CCG that is grading cards as well.
Oh,
Which
and that's a
I haven't
Wolverine.
heard much of
Mozzie
CCG,
Smith.
but still, it's really cool. Mozzie Smith, the new first round pick for Dallas.
As a Lions, or as a, not a Lions fan, as a Michigan Wolverine fan, Cowboy fans will be happy with Mozzie Smith.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely. He's a run-stopping DT that they absolutely
yes, he is.
very much needed.
He let's just say my Wolverines are going to miss him next year.
Yeah, he's a force for sure.
That
He's
is
going to
a-
plug up the middle for Dallas. And
Yeah, he really
he's
will,
going
man.
to do
He's-
exactly what they need him for.
He was
sure.
one of the, like I said, he was one of the guys when with him leaving, and Ronnie Bell leaving, it was like,
Yeah, that defense.
thought Ronnie
strong.
Bell might stay one more year, but
Yeah.
his brother just signed though. His brother's going to go to Michigan next year in 2 years.
Oh, okay.
To touch on these, when you're talking, I don't know how many different grading companies there are out there, but there's a lot.
There's
now.
a lot now. Yeah.
And it's one of those things. You should know that just because you have a Gem Mint 10 with CCG
Doesn't mean it's with Jefferson with somebody
doesn't
else.
mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could use it as it probably would grade decent with another company,
Sure.
but you should never expect a 10
Sure.
from any of the major grading companies
You could
because.
send that to PSA and they give you an
8
Yeah.
or a 7 or a 9.
Or
yeah.
they could 10 it. Maybe they got it right.
Yeah.
But I think with the major companies, they have a lot more money, a lot more funds to hire
just-
people to grade them, and they have the equipment. They
Yeah.
have they have blue light room. They have
Gotcha.
all that stuff. I
And
guarantee.
PSA has been out there grading, for a while. Has been a staple as far as grading. And I'll say this, I guess, is a little bit of advice. If you're talking about maximizing value, PSA, SGC, BGS. I mean, those are the 3 that you got to go to.
Okay.
If you're talking about maximizing value. From a
Gotcha.
collector's point of view, you have other companies that are great. HGA makes some really
Rare
cool
edition.
custom slabs.
I don't know if you guys have seen Rare Edition. They're glass slabs. I love
glass
them. I
slabs,
absolutely love them.
which they're real big and bulky, but some people like that because it's a real nice look.
Sure.
It makes it look like a glass picture. It's really nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
But HGA, like I was saying, does custom slabs, colored slabs. In fact, they do horizontal slabs for horizontal cards.
Oh,
so
that's
it's
cool.
not, it's not like this. It's not where it's
Right.
They actually do a horizontal
Gotcha.
slab.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's cool, but those are for like personal collection.
Gotcha.
Because HGA just doesn't have a whole lot of secondary value. Like a HGA 10 versus a PSA 10, you're talking a 4x difference, 5x difference.
It's almost worth it to break it out of the. If you want to get your
If
money
you
for
want
it,
value.
break it out of the HGA and get it graded.
It all
by
comes
PSA.
down to, are you collecting this card personally for your collection,
Right.
or are you trying to get value?
Gotcha.
That's just what it comes down to when it comes
See,
to
this
grading.
explains a video I saw this weekend from Mojo. He did it, and he bought a bunch of slabs, but
Yep.
someone was in the back cracking them all.
Yep.
And I guess he's going to
resubmit.
He's going to clean them and
He's
resubmit.
going to clean them and resubmit because, see, like I
Resubmit,
just said, and that's something.
Which
you
me
guys are getting
personally, I don't think
serious.
there's anything wrong with it.
I
think
asked
it's-
him. I go, hey, I'm curious. Why are you doing that? But now I'm kind of understanding maybe what was going on.
Yeah.
When some people in the hobby will look down on that,
Well, for sure,
But at
but
the end
yeah.
of the day, man, if it's gradable and you're not actually altering the card,
Yeah,
you're
if you're not
cleaning off
actually rolling it
smudges
and cutting
or-
it, if you're just cleaning the surface, fixing a corner, I don't feel like it's as bad as that stuff. But I mean, to each their own. Everybody has their opinion on it of altering cards or not. You know, that's why they say, oh, it's so hard to get a gem because you should just be able to, you know, turn it in and grade it. And if it gems, then wow, you're lucky, you know. But if you can clean up a card and clean off a fingerprint or a smudge in the surface, why wouldn't you, to give you the best chance to maximize your money?
Like I said, my hope for my 10 is, of the first 10 that I sent in, is I'm hoping for at least 4 10s.
Yeah.
I think they're all 9s.
Yeah.
Hoping for 4, but we'll see.
But see, that's why I was saying the juicy tidbits y'all are getting here, though, because you said that about Mojo. I really think that the hobby and some of the bigger people are starting to realize with the Kurtz card care and these other things, these other cleaning kits.
I don't know for sure that's what he's
No,
doing.
I'm
just
sure
saying.
that's what he's
No,
doing.
it makes sense.
I'm sure that's what.
But I was
sense.
trying to.
If it's
I'm
not
trying to-
Kurt's card care, it's probably
It's
he
something
still
else.
has some other plan.
He
for it.
saw an opportunity where he could probably maximize his value, and same thing that we're doing as well. I mean, all the collectors are doing it. Of
course.
It's not like it's, it is, I guess, hidden to an extent because people don't want to talk about it on video forums, but I don't care. We're here for the raw, honest stuff.
Yeah. So real quick to kind of wrap up some of this conversation before he breaks a couple of packs here.
Cool.
3 things real quick, from each of you. 3 things to be looking for if you want to send in a card. What are the 3 things each of you would look for? Like, for example, what I said earlier. I mean, the kind of card, certain blemishes affect it worse than others.
Yeah, your best advice.
Yeah, your best advice. The 3 things, and we'll start with Dylan.
Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to look for, this is just me personally because I run a card shop, is this card worth grading?
Okay.
And with that question comes, why am I grading it? Am I grading it because I want it for my personal collection, or am I grading it to make money on it?
Gotcha.
And if I'm grading it to make money on it, I have to consider which company should I use to get it graded. Is
Makes
it a
sense.
thick card? Is it a standard card? What am I looking at? What company is going to be the best for that to grade? The second thing I'm looking for is surface and corners and edges. Like, that's what you have to go to. You have, and if you don't have a blue light room, you need to at least try to, in my experience, shining light, like different shades
angles.
of, like different angles of light.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so that's one thing you're looking for. And I guess a third thing that you would be looking for would be just eye appeal in general. There are some cards that they have such a nice eye appeal, and say it's a 101. Some 101s aren't worth getting. Like, it's you can sell them raw for what you would sell it for. Graded,
Gotcha.
You know?
Okay.
And especially if you get a 101 and you see that it has certain little spots on it.
Sure.
You know? That would be something that you would consider. It's like the Jalen Hurts 101 that we sold Jeff Wilson.
Right.
We inspected it and we determined that we would rather sell it raw than to try to spend the money on grading, because you
It's
have to
expensive to
consider
grade a
this
card
too.
that valuable.
Right.
Well, that, and
Yeah.
to touch on that point, when you get encased cards like that from Flawless, there's a seal. There's a sticker seal, the Flawless.
Sure.
So if you go to, say we go to grade that card,
It has to be broken.
and we have to break that seal,
Yeah.
say it gets a terrible grade, and then
Yeah,
we
now
crack
it's-
the slab.
yeah, now
Well,
you're-
now we have basically a tampered,
now you're
non-sealed
SOL, man.
101, and the guy's going to be like, well, hey, why are you selling, why didn't you get it
Right.
graded, and then why is it not sealed? And you're like, well, I got it graded, but I got a terrible grade. And then you're kind of just stuck in a spot.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes
So
sense.
on the higher end cards like that come encased, those you really have to make a decision of, am I grading this or am I leaving it raw?
Yeah, that makes
because
sense.
you really tamper with the value.
Yeah. It's great advice.
Not everything is worth grading. That's some of my best advice.
And
Not everything's worth grading.
And
You
so
can
the,
sell it for the same raw.
The 3 things I would say, kind of like he said, definitely. First thing is, is it worth grading? Are you going to grade it for your PC, or are you going to grade it for value? Definitely, that's the first question I would ask myself.
Okay.
And anytime I'm grading a card. Second is, if it's for value, of course, like he said, kind of touching the same base, he hit all the good points. pick the right company that's worth grading. If it's an RPA, if it's a patch auto, go with BGS. If it's a thin 35-point card, go with PSA. If it's a vintage, go with SGC, just to maximize your value on that. If it's for collection, go with a company that you like that looks the best. Like I like how SGC Tuxedo looks. I like the black look. I like the real clean. I think it looks better than PSA, but I know that PSA is more value.
And save yourself money on your personal collection. Why would you try to spend more money on grading when you like the look of another one better?
Absolutely. And then third thing is so like which set is it from? Like if I'm going to buy valuable, if I'm trying to buy cards that I'm going to go flip and grade and maximize my value, I'm going to buy cards of relevant players or veteran players that have established themselves. I'm going to buy from sets like Prism, Optic. This is just speaking from a football term. Prism, Optic, Flawless, National Treasures, sets like that, because it's a little bit more higher end. And when you get those graded and they grade well, the value is just up there.
Come on in, guys.
Come on in.
We're just playing.
But that's the 3 points that I would touch on too. And he pretty much hit the nail on the head with everything as far as I agree with him for the most part. But
Sweet. Yep. All right, we're going to rip 5 packs of Upper Deck 2021 here real quick. Series 1.
And while he's doing that, if
I was about to say,
one of y'all need to go over there.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you don't
y'all
mind,
do it, because
You guys do that?
be watching the break.
Cool.
And I'm
I'll get them if you want to get them real quick.
Record this. Let's see if we can't.
What are we opening here, Rick?
Upper Deck Series 1 2021. And we're looking for some of the young guns, because young guns are always the valuable ones here.
Those are your favorites.
Oh, yeah. Those are everybody's favorites. Oh, right off the bat, Alex Ovechkin. That's a good pull.
Is that a young gun?
It's a base card.
We are in a working shop
that
is open to customers.
Quinn Hughes. The Canvas checklist. This is a nice.
The line was getting long.
It's got your buddy Jason Robertson's on the Canvas checklist.
He's wait, what? Oh, it's on the checklist.
Yeah, it's Canvas checklist.
Okay.
So that's a good little pull.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our insert in that pack. That's not bad.
All right.
So I don't know the young gun in this one that we want. I can't remember who the young gun is.
Don't
I
look
know
at me.
Oh, down goes my phone.
Don't look at me. Edit.
All right. Oh,
got to go to the watch.
here we go. Yeah, all right. Coleman. Adam Fox. Portraits, rookie portrait. I can't see the name. Josh Norris. I'm not the biggest fan of this card design. I don't love they're cool looking, but they're not.
So
I like
this is Series
the
2.
new one. That's 22-23. This is 2021.
Okay.
So I'm not
so series. So when do they come out? Like Series 1 comes out.
I would love to tell you there's an exact release date, but they change it. They're so late on their release dates, like all the time.
Okay.
So
But they don't come out at the exact same time.
No. They were telling it Series 1 comes out, and then about 3 or 4 months later, Series 2 will come out.
But what's the difference? Like, what's different?
So
cards,
usually
different people?
Oh, we got a patch card.
A patch card. Who is it?
Yeah,
Who is
Kiefer Bellows. Nice debut updates. It's a nice card.
Oh, pretty patch.
Little patch card.
A little orange.
So what they do is usually there's 200 cards in the base set, and the base set will have typically has like 6 players for each team, and then they have their young guns. So it's 250 in a base set, including the young guns. And then when Series 2, the numbering will pick up after that numbering, so the number stays sequential.
Oh, okay.
And then there's just different inserts as there are most packs. So it just depends on each year what their inserts are. I don't know all the inserts for this one, so I don't see any young guns yet. This looks like it's a base pack. Nothing big in this one. So far the big one. This patch card's pretty nice.
One to go.
Last pack Magic.
Come on.
Pull young gun.
Hope you do better on
Again,
yours than you did on theirs.
Oh, they were happy. They got some autos.
Yeah. They also got some that you forgot to mention, or you didn't realize the first year.
Yeah, here's your boy, Joe Pavelski.
Hey. We'll make a deal later.
Do we get an auto? Do we get a young gun? We did. We got a good young gun.
Oh, did we?
No, we got an okay young gun. Morgan.
How can you change it so
Well, I
quick?
realized who it was. Morgan Gecky for Carolina. That's not bad.
Carolina's doing pretty well this year.
They're about to go home. They're going home tonight.
Okay, well,
Florida going to beat them tonight.
Stars might go home on Thursday.
Yeah, more than likely. So,
What's his name? Suspended 2 games.
he only got 2 games.
Only 2 games.
No, we're not going to get into that.
Yeah,
dirty,
yeah,
dirty,
but-
dirty, dirty.
Anyway.
So anyway, not too bad. We got a patch card in there, and there's a good, young gun. Those are always good pulls.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, I want to thank Dylan and Tre for sitting in with us and talking us through
absolutely.
grading and teaching us stuff that we did not know.
No, we don't.
I knew
In
nothing
fact, I'm
about
sure
grading.
there's more they can say.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty good.
There's a lot of good
introduction,
information. Yes. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
101.
Yeah,
And
so-
grading 101.
So if you learned something today, and hopefully you did, like, share, subscribe.
Yes.
Tell your friends. let
DFW
everyone else
Sports
know.
Investors, our
Rick,
channel,
Greg,
subscribe.
We're same on Instagram. DFW Sports Investors on Instagram.
Yeah. Remember, 100. We have the giveaway.
Series 1 base set at 100.
250. We give away something else.
And
What
if
do
you
we
haven't
give away?
watched this video, hang on. If you haven't watched this video, watch the last one because the last one has a giveaway on it that's specific to that video
yes,
only.
Yes. Comments.
So we're not
all
going to
kinds
tell
of
you what it
stuff.
is. So make sure
You
you
have
watch
to watch
that
it
one.
so you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, we're at Nighthawk Cards in Greenville.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's an awesome shop.
It
if
is
you're in the
awesome.
Rockwall,
Glad
Greenville
they
area, pop in, check
let
them
us
out.
come
Tell them we
hang
sent
out
you.
with them for a little bit.
Yeah, tell them the
They do
DFW
breaks.
Sports Investor. Yeah, they do tons of breaks. They're about to knock the wall up, make the room bigger. They're going to put a
Yep.
studio over there.
Yep.
So yeah, pop in, tell them we sent you.
And it's kind of like a little party in here. You can't really see because it's on the outside of the camera.
There's a bunch of people hanging out.
Tons of people been walking in and out.
So much fun.
It's a really nice.
So
shop.
much fun. So
Anyway,
cool.
we probably should.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate your time, and we'll be back with another one from here. We're gonna record a couple more. I don't know what we're gonna talk about next, but we'll find out. I think we're gonna talk hockey. I'm gonna get Brad in here again.
There we
We're gonna
go.
talk hockey.
Since
He
we're
has-
opening hockey.
He has this card right here that I want to talk about.
Rick
There's a
wants
story to this card. It's
Oh,
it's
is there?
Connor McDavid, 1 of 5 patch auto. I want to talk about it. Until
All
next
right.
time. Thank you.
All right.